I have just spent 2 hours watching the deep dive into the Lipstick Lesbians by Disgruntled Townsperson. And as someone who loves makeup and skincare, the Lipstick Lesbians controversy is something that I've been following along with for quite some time. So this deep dive looks into the whole history of where the Lipstick Lesbians started, and boy is it eye-opening. I have to say though, it's probably one of the most well-articulated pieces of journalism I've seen on this whole topic. The amount of research that's been done is actually really incredible, and the whole thing is really fairly done, I think. One of the most eye-opening parts of this whole thing for me is that I didn't realise that this isn't their first makeup launch or business idea. It looks like they had a failed business a few years ago, and whilst I think there's probably a lot of startups that don't succeed for probably many different reasons, the one thing that I think gets me is the fact that they went through so much effort to cover the whole thing up. Why go through this much effort to cover up your tracks if there's not something going on that you don't want the current consumers to know about? The amount of effort that they've seemingly gone through to cover up the existence of this, especially after doing a crowdfunding, which there doesn't seem to be any information on now about what happened to that money, I think is just really shady, to be honest. And I think this whole sort of issue with them going to such extreme lengths to cover up their previous business shows how they handle themselves. I think it shows that they have no intention of taking any responsibility for what they have done, and that their intention was always just about consumerism and selling a product, even on their actual TikTok, not just through legal labs. And whilst I know that every business is there to make money and sell a product, this felt different. This felt like more of a scam, because they sold it as research. They sold it as you being part of the beauty's biggest focus group, and clearly that wasn't the situation, because they didn't even send out the surveys until after they started to receive criticism about the fact that they weren't taking any constructive advice from anyone and just defending every single part of what they've done. Anyway, I think Disgruntled Townsperson has done an incredible job of doing all of the research around this, so if you have time, definitely check that out.